Hello. Gamified and game-like interventions have already begun to invade the real world. Some visionaries, researchers, and scientists envision an hypothetical future in which everything in their daily life becomes gamified, from cleaning the house to brushing the teeth to switching off the light, like a game apocalypse. In this ongoing scenario, our daily activities are magnified by game-like interventions. This provoked a shift in our attention, and maybe also it can start a change. So going close to education, game-like application may be able to motivate students to learn better and may also help them to achieve some change in a more informal way. The change can be in knowledge, physical activity, mobility, social or soft skills. In a certain way, the learning process embodies in itself a change, as to learn means to reply to a stimulus by a modification of an activity. So schools already have several game-like things in terms of points or grades for completing assignment or missions. However, something fails in this traditional system, and a disclosure among theory and real life emerges. So the other things are changing. On one hand, no one wants to be seen as a staff teacher stuck in a frontal lecturing and doesn't seem to care about the students' engagement. On the other hand, students today are tech savvy and have a wandering minds, very fast to process information coming from several channels, and at the same time they'll walk, talk, and text all together. So within InLife projects, we propose a new educational framework to facilitate learners to think critically, train problem-solving skill, and analyze information from multiple sources. So the benefits are also for teachers and educators that can enhance their educational program by incorporating the learning objective into a reality-based gameplay environment. So these projects involve 7 partners, in particular 2 universities, 4 industrial partners, 1 innovation agency in Valladolid, and 3 observers that host the pilots. Basically, InLife is a platform for creating game-based learning experiences, so for designing gamified application and serious game. The uniqueness of this platform is that they extend the real life into games and vice versa, using IoT and combining it with gamification in a new framework. So thanks to the use of the sensors, the feedback of the activity in the reality become more instant and visible into the game, and the player's action impact on their reality. So we run 2 game pilots in 4 European countries, so 1 in France, 1 in Valladolid, and 2 in Athens. Just to measure and to test the InLife approach. So I will present briefly the 2 pilots, one for the pro-environmental activities, behavioral change, and one for social inclusion. So this is the iceberg pilot. So an iceberg game arises as like a combination of the role-playing game and a strategy game, and so the game is designed in an imaginary world of ice. The main creature is a Yeti, but there are also some non-playing characters like penguins, polar bears, orcas, shellfishes, and the Yeti As a Yeti, the player interacts with the ice blocks, which constitute really a living iceberg. The game has a strong interaction with the reality, so there are like real life mission and in-game mission, and by acting to the reality, the iceberg inhabitants reply and can be willing to contribute to the ice growing, or can be also disappointed. So by saving the iceberg, students learn how to act in a more respectful way in the real world. So here you can see just some sensors we installed in the pilot, like motion sensor, light sensor, and we use also the like a RFID to track the movement. And we have also some sensor into the printers for the use of paper, or on the PC desk to track if they switch on or off. And here we tested this pilot in 3 different contexts with children between 8 and 13, and also young adults in the University of Athens. The pilot in Valladolid is still playable, so if you have the opportunity to go there, it's in the public library there. And the second pilot is specifically designed for children with autism and other special needs for foster social inclusion. So the concept, game concept is practically there is a spaceship, and the player can explore the galaxy with its population. The mission is to discover all the planets and solve simple challenges. So there are a lot of mini games inside and can be extendable. And so while completing the mission, player meets friends, meet planet creature, passengers, teachers, also family members. And there are also, like here you can see the scenario, school scenario, so they can also like detect the emotions, the expressions. So it's a game that should be played with also the teacher, and that can also check the reply and the progress of people. And the player can also move object, place object in the right position, ask to the time to talk. We tested this with some people, and we are collaborating with different institutions that are willing to try. And what is behind? It's projects a bit complex in terms of configuration of subjects involved in. So there is an interface for educator that can configure the games, a special area for the developer that can configure the IoT, the incentive server, or the game engine, or the game logic in general. And so they can also personalize the user profiles. And so the platform is open to different level of users. This is the example of the interface for the educator that can also use the platform as a tool to track the progress of players. because there is also the analytic behind. So now we are spread out the work, and we are also working on the GitHub and a part of the open part of the projects where a developer can contribute. And we will organize in September an Hack Challenge in Valladolid, and Students Challenge on the social media. So if you are interested to come, you are very welcome. And we found also large interest on the gamification and IoT, so in combining both. And there is our group on LinkedIn, so it's very open. If you want to join in, yeah, welcome. This is just a contact for Twitter and to see the development. The project will finish at the end of the year. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Vanessa. Thank you, Vanessa. I'm very curious about the game mechanics of the game for autistic children, Axion, and how it is tied to reality. I think it's about face recognition, and how does the sensorial part work, the reality part?
Yes, this was a very hard part to develop because it includes communication. So it's not just a sensor positioned all around. And basically, autistic people work together with the therapist. So the environment can change, and are just two. So at the moment we are implementing different scenario with IoT, and so things, sensor that can be put in the objects like toys or boxes, so that people can move or share with other. So the system can track the movement if they do or not, of how they can use things. So in this way it can be more like natural, the observation. Yes, it would be nice to also to implement the face recognition. At the moment it's very open, so it's behind there is all the system, and we have a lot of time to develop a lot of mini games, so they are just simple, but yes, it can be included also.
Very interesting that you have this network between different countries, and it will be interesting to get the feedback from different cultures.
Yes, we have tested also the limitation of this, obviously, this kind of system about the complexity of game that you can develop. Yeah, I think Iceberg, it's like really gamified. It's a digital world there, and it's more complex than Axiom probably. That is a little more older, like gameplay, because there are a lot of mini games, a very simple activity. And
thank you. Any other questions?
Okay, I'm wondering how is the connection between the game and the IoT sensors? Are they somehow reflected in these games, or is it just for, say, measuring the impacts, or do the for the supervisors and see what the result is?
Okay, no, they have a really impact. For instance, I cannot play without the IoT, especially in Iceberg. So moving around, I can achieve, I can have some points to build something into the game, like to creating new blocks or new igloo, for instance. Otherwise, I cannot playing with it. So it track also, yeah. You need the IoT. this is why it's maybe it's complicated to test it out of the place, because there are maybe for action, yes, it's possible to test it right now. So if you just send me a mail and we can create contact. Yes. For icebreaker, it's more complicated. You have to go in one of the pilots at the moment. But there are online. There are some videos, so you can understand a little more what it's about.
Questions answered. Okay, great. Other open questions? Can we play it also in the demo? Your games can be played in the demo outside or today? No.
No, but they are online on the website. You can find some videos about how it's work.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Vanessa.
Thank you.